in my eyes, indisposed, in disguise as no one knows. At the face lies the slave, in the sun of my disgrace. Boiling heat, some might stench, neath the black the sky looks dim. Call my name through the cream, and hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away your rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come? Stuttering, cold and damp, still the warm wind, tired friend. Times are gone for honest men. Sometimes for too long for slaves. In my shoes, walking sleep. In my youth I prayed to keep. And I'm sanded away. No one sings like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, 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 hang my head, drown my fear, till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? You wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come?
Okay, check, check. Am I back? How's it going? Let me check the audio. What an absolute is ham radio at its finest. There we go. Yeah, Burb, that was for you. Right, that was as planned. As planned. You couldn't make this up, Burb, if you tried. What an absolute disaster. Following up on Chris Cornell. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Amazing vocalist. And I picked that out just for you guys. So everything was going well, except my computer did not have power. And right on cue, blacked out. It was almost actually a nice moment of silence, if you will, for the tragedy that occurred earlier today. I saw the news. Charlie Kirk, I guess he was a political activist and a Trump supporter, was shot and killed in a university. Not exactly clear on where he was, but certainly the country mourns. The country mourns, and that's all I can say about that. So, moment of silence for him as well. And yeah, Robert, welcome aboard on this kind of somber day in America. No, we have light. We have light. But now let me go full screen. Solo layout. I have a few tabs for you guys. I did title the show AP CEO out. Is she? Is she not? The CEO, Ilya Resta. Has she been given the ouster? And we know, most of you know, the board of directors of AP have spoken unequivocally. She is still there. She is still the CEO. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That's one tab that I don't have set up. I have some others. I can now close the Chris Cornell tab, or that could be the outro, actually, because I like that song a lot. It was between that. I had Alice in Chains, and I also had Nirvana Unplugged. So I went with that. Anyway, let's say hello to folks who have joined us. I know it's a last-minute stream that almost got derailed, but we power on. We have Skies and Boys. He's first. Take Cap. What's up, Skies? And hope you are well. Glad to see you in the chat. Darth Simon. Darth. That's our cigar guy, Steve. Darth Simon. Hope people are buying stogies and smoking them. And you know where to go. Show sponsor of the Watch Hangout, Leaf Cigars. Leaf Cigars in Bayville, New Jersey. Always bringing the smoke. Pun intended. Burb, yep. We have to do something at AP. Or do we? Do we or do we not? Jen G, miss Chris Cornell so much. Well, why don't you come on and talk about it? Okay? Let's cut the bullshit. We need your knowledge. Let's go. It's not easy being solo. Not easy. But I have content. That's not me. So this is impromptu. Even Mr. GMT. Shout out to GMT, show sponsor, owner of the channel. I don't know, whereabouts unknown. I did give him a heads up. By that I mean I tried to call him and he didn't answer. So we are soldiering on. Okay, let's hit the topics before we veer off into anything else. AP CEO gone. So you guys may have heard that there was an unsubstantiated report by some, I guess, Watch Insider reporting that Ilya Resta had been either terminated or resigned, but was no longer with AP. Audemars Piguet, as you know, part of the Holy Trinity, never to be replaced in the Holy Trinity, because, as Tim Masso said very recently on his live stream, one of his, not, I don't know if it was a live stream or one of his shows, the Holy Trinity is like the Ivy League. Once you're in, you're a legacy. There's no oustering, there's no replacing. Once you're in, because there would be too much public opinion, and how do you kick somebody out? You know, who makes that official? So they are the Holy Trinity for a reason. They've been around for 150 plus years. AP is on its 150th anniversary, I think, this year. VC is the longest continuous, oldest Swiss watch manufacturing company. I think it's Swiss, German, or Japan, or any other country for that matter. And of course, Patek Philippe. So those are the three horsemen. That's the Holy Trinity. That's the way it's going to be. And if you want, create a new Trinity. But you can't replace it with Lange, because I believe the Holy Trinity was always designated to be Swiss watchmakers. So Lange doesn't work. And I don't know who else you'd put in there, but it's just not going to happen. So Vimal with a strong take. The new AP releases. Okay. Yeah, would be impressed. Okay. Let's get back to the chat here. All good, Cap. Thanks, Burb. Vimal, loud and clear. Okay. AB, saw new AP releases. Would be impressed, but hard to be when you know they're unobtainable. I agree. Yeah, any piece that you want from AP is unattainable. I don't know if I could pull those up. I probably could, but I'd have to search for them. But that I think it's a 38 millimeter perpetual calendar that is basically marketing for women, for the female audience, which I think this is why I don't believe Ilya Resta is going anywhere. First of all, it would show failure for 2 years. Now, if she voluntarily wanted to go to do other things and pursue other ventures, that I would understand. But for the board to, terminate her or push her out, it's a private company. They can do what they want, but, still family owned as far as I know, by heirs to, Audemars and or Piguet families. So they have every right to remove the CEO, replace the CEO. And it occurred to me, how many CEOs of these brands do people really know? Because I personally don't. I don't know too many of them, right? Who do you have? George Kern is at Breitling. The Rolex CEO, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup, except when I saw him at the US Open doing watch diplomacy, as they say, with Donald Trump at the US Open in the Rolex suite. Now, that's absolutely political. I don't know how it could be spun otherwise. When you're inviting the president of the United States into your Rolex suite, given all that's going on with tariffs and Switzerland, not to mention the fact that, I guess he is a Rolex. I think he owns a Rolex. I think he owns a day date. Not exactly sure, but anyway, I'm a little off topic, but I don't know too many CEOs. He's been there apparently at Rolex for 15 years, kind of low profile, I guess, as far as I know. I'm sure in the watch world, he's everywhere in these, conferences and seminars, whatever he does. So anyway, back to Ilya. The focus that she has is proven with this 38 millimeter Royal Oak. This perpetual calendar that operates solely from the crown, which they reintroduced. It's not a new technology, but now it seems to be the way they're going with their perpetual calendars. And I think it also has that it doesn't have the 31 and the 1 at the top in the date wheel. It's got I think they do the 7 and the 9 next to each other. Either way, beautiful piece, 38 millimeters, marketing for women, but I think it's unisex, honestly. Like, that watch wears big, so that's going to wear like a 40 mil. And, it's a 38, wears like a 40, maybe even a 41. So a lot of guys actually And if you think about it, perpetual calendars, a lot of perpetual calendars are in dress pieces, which are smaller watches. And I would say that guys could absolutely rock that piece. Let me try to get a visual of that. Let me do a little search. So yeah, I don't have Bobby Google to pull things up. New release. And then we're going to go to the press release. Hold on. Latest AP news, new Audemars Piguet. Where is it? Here we go. All right, here we go. Is this the new one? No, these are not the new ones. I'm looking at a Hodinkee article. But those were, oh wait, new 38 millimeter. These could be it. Okay, that's the first look. Yep, here it is. Good. All right, let's do this. What's up, Dubs? I'm gonna get to people in the chat here. Team GMT, always Team GMT, Dubs. From the beginning, couldn't have a nicer guy in the community than Mr. GMT, the owner and sponsor of this channel. This rogue satellite channel. So let me go to the AP. We could look at the new APs. Before we do that, I'm getting a little bit off track. CEO. I want to pull up this board of directors here, the statement by AP. Let's get this over with. Yeah, I pulled up AP. I'm getting articles from AP, the Associated Press. Come on, Google. Okay. CEO Ilia Resta. Okay, here we go. I mean, she has a background not in watches. She was in the perfume and makeup industry. Oh, Miss Tweed is the one that put out this article. Here we go. So let's start with this. Miss Tweed. Stories on fashion and luxury you won't read elsewhere. Audemars Piguet CEO is to exit. Okay, so is this fake news or what? I'm going to share this. Let's get things rolling here. Sorry, I flying solo. Okay, here we go. Now let's get some real content going on. Okay, there we go. Miss Tweed. Let's read with this. Let's just take a look at this. There's a picture of Eladia Resta. The article is for subscribers only. So now I'm out of luck. Here we go. Let's just read what the little I could read here. Independent watchmaker AP is to part ways with CEO Ilia Resta after 2 years. Industry sources said at Geneva Watch Days annual fair. So Geneva Watch Days ran, I guess it was last week after Labor Day. I think it was like the 5th through the 8th or the 9th. I should have gone, but I didn't. Family-controlled Audemars Piguet celebrates its 150th anniversary this year. Okay, so you're going to fire or get rid of your CEO on the 150th anniversary? I don't think so. Is the world's 4th biggest luxury watch brand. That's correct. And they actually had a good year last year. And let's see where the numbers shake out at the end of this year. Everyone who's saying that Audemars Piguet is dead and they've lost their way and no one's buying the code, blah, blah, blah. They're the 4th biggest luxury watch brand. I like AP, always been a fan. Can they do better? Yes. Have they made mistakes? Yes. Do I like the Travis Scott? Yes. Do I like Cause? No. But I like the Cause marketing campaign. And I thought that guy was cool. ranking after Rolex, Cartier, and Omega. So AP is right there. You got Rolex, you got Cartier, and Omega in that order. AP has been going nothing but up, and they're number 4. So no problems there. Generates more than 2 billion euros in annual sales. Audemars Piguet on Tuesday denied Resta was going to leave. The board does not want the teams to know that it is looking for a replacement. Well, you put out this news, so now they know if that's in fact true. And they're going to search for a replacement while she's still there. Such news can be destabilizing for the company and its partners. Yep, that is true. That is true. But I'm not buying Miss Tweed's initial reporting. So there you have it. Let's see. Now I want to get to the response. Let's spend 2 minutes on this, if I can find it. Board of Directors of Audemars Piguet. CEO. Let's see what happens. Okay, we got something here. Luxury Jabrun. Sorry, guys. I am just trying to find. Okay, I found something. I'll just read this. Hold on. Let me share this for you. Get this going here. Share screen. Boom. Okay. Here we go. The Audemars Piguet Board of Directors deemed it necessary, an extremely rare occurrence, to break its silence and issue an official denial just a few hours after the information was published. Well, the information was this report by Ms. Tweed blogging of her imminent departure. Right. She was appointed to succeed Francois Henri Benamia. I always pronounce his name wrong. Benamias at the helm of the Le Bressus-based brand. The internet went into a frenzy. I don't know how much of a frenzy it was, but certainly it got a lot of attention. So they issued an official denial. The statement explained, following recent rumors concerning the departure of our CEO, so they don't say termination or anything like that, we would like to inform you these reports are unfounded. Audemars Piguet is proud to have Ilaria at its helm. Since her appointment, she has had a positive impact on the organization and our activities, bringing new energy and a strategic vision focused on innovation and excellence. Okay. She will continue to steer the brand through its. So here they say she will continue to steer the brand through its next phase of growth, consolidating our corporate culture while strengthening our global presence in order to perpetuate the success of our manufacture. Initial cap. I don't know about you, but they do say she will continue to steer the brand through its next phase of growth. That's pretty strong, and that goes a long way without saying that she's got a guarantee of employment as CEO, because she doesn't, and the board can replace her at will for any or no reason. I don't know her contract. She would likely get a large buyout or payout in that sense, depending upon what her contract says, but they pretty strong and state that she's continuing to steer the brand through its next phase of growth. I don't know. Sounds like she's in for the long term. Next phase of growth could take another couple of years, and as other folks have pointed out, and they are completely correct, it takes 3 years to manufacture new pieces. So whatever was in the pipeline, none of it in her 2 years really came from her. Maybe the Frosted Lady Royal Oaks came from her, though she's not a watch person anyway. She has no prior expertise in watchmaking. Though I'm sure she's learning on the job and knows a little bit now. But bottom line is she's steering them in a direction. I think they're pivoting to women. And if you have like a marginal or nominal share or percentage of your pieces that are sold to women, and you increase that by 10, 20%, like Rolex and Cartier have, though number one and number two, and even Omega, ladies Omegas sell as well. So AP has probably got very few, as a percentage of their sales is probably very low. So if she can boost that up, and it looks like they're pivoting. I mean, Justin Bieber's wife, Hailey Bieber, had that frosted mini oak or whatever they call it on her wrist. And I think Justin Bieber wore it too. So I say you got to give it a few more years, and we'll see if she comes out with a new model line and what's been in the pipeline for the last, if she's got a 3-year runway to come out with some innovative and, avant-garde or whatever you want to call it, new lines, new model lines. She hasn't even reached the 3-year mark. So let's not forget, Francois was the one responsible for the Marvel, the Black Panther release. That was him. And who knows what else, was in the pipeline when he was there. Oh, Travis Scott. He was there when Travis Scott was released. In fact, I think he shot some video where he was rapping with Travis Scott. So, let's see where it goes. But we can move on. I'm going to go to the chat. Hey, Vimal, she won't be the CEO in 2026. Well, you have 4 months for that to play out. So you're saying that right after the 150th anniversary, Ilya is out, new person comes in. I'm going to take the opposite side of that. But, hey, you could be right. Time will tell. The Holy Trinity be more than 3? No, because it's a Trinity. So you can call it the Holy, I don't know. Let's highlight you, AB. And, well, let's first highlight Vimal. Give him some credit. Let's screenshot that, and let's see who's right. January 1, 2026. We'll pull this up, and we'll see who's right. And I don't know what we're betting on it, Vimal, but how about we have a drink or a coffee, and either I go to Canada or you come down here. Whoever wins gets to decide. AB, the Big Ten is 18, right? The Holy Trinity be more than 3. That would be what's 4? The unholy quadruple alliance. How about that? Start a second Trinity, man. It's like the baby Ivy Leagues. You have the Ivy Leagues and then the baby Ivies. You could do that. Nothing wrong with that. But you're going to need critical mass, because I don't know who the Illuminati or the Watch Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, who created the Holy Trinity in the first place. It was a public thing, right? Or was it just some folks in Switzerland that got around a table and said, hey, let's create the Holy Trinity? Or was it Patek, AP, and Vacheron that said in a marketing thing, hey, let's create the Trinity? However it happened. And it caught fire and went, I don't even know when it officially, if there's no official start date to the Holy Trinity. But when that phrase was kind of coined, and it stuck, right? I think it's really almost impossible to reverse it. Yeah, the codes. Well, they came out with a new code too that John Mayer was wearing, interestingly enough. AB would turn it down. Trinity means 3. That's correct. Let's go. I'm just rolling through. Dubs, we got you. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Glad to see you in the chat. Craft and tailored. Gorgeous 1987 GMT with trop dial. Buy it. If you like the tropical dials, go for it. If I remember, I wanted to show you guys a crazy 31 millimeter Patek Philippe Calatrava, Japan only edition that I saw. It was being auctioned on Moda, and the auction ended today at 2 p.m. So at 1:30, I looked at it, right? It was going for about $9,200. And on Chrono, they sell them in a two-piece set. In fact, I'm trying to think if I should divert to the two-piece set. And I will. Chrono 24. Let's see. I'm diverting now. I'm going to show you, and I'll share my screen with you guys if I can find this. Here we go. Calatrava. So I'm looking for Calatrava, Patek. See, we're doing this on the fly, guys. This was not pre-planned. Patek Calatrava, Japan. Limited. Here we go. All right, I'm going to show you, and hopefully I could find this. Come on. Nope. I'm trying to find you. There was a 2-watch set. I saw some of these on Chrono, and of course, it is not coming up right now. Anyway, take my word for it. It was a lavender 31 millimeter Patek, and the auction ended at 15 grand today. So in the last 10 minutes, you had 3 bidders on Moda that saw value because the sets were going for like 40,000 plus. So one was, I think, a 36 mil man size, which was not in lavender. I think it was blue. And then they had a 31 millimeter ladies piece in lavender. And they were selling, I guess the set got split up, didn't come with papers, but they were selling the 31 millimeter on its own. You know, it had Japan stamped on the back, came with the box and some other pamphlets and booklets. And what happened? Beautiful piece, man. I just saw it and I was like, it was like an OP lavender, but it was a Calatrava, right? And tiny though, 31 mil, obviously super small. No man is unless you have chicken wrists, no man is wearing that. So clearly for your wife, you know, significant other, you know, a niece, a sister, but it's a ladies piece, but it's limited. I've never seen anything like it. And it was absolutely gorgeous. So that's why I'm saying, AB, if you like that tropical dial, go for it. If the price is right. That lead up is worse than the Christmas tree reveal. What lead up? I'm sure it was something I did. Back to Ilya Resta, Cap. I heard that she's got a position on the board of Chanel. I don't know if it's Chanel, but she does have a position on the board. But a lot of times these CEOs will have seats on other people's boards. Like back in the day, Google, I think Sergey Brin and who's the other guy that founded Google? The other guy that founded Google. They would serve on each other's boards. Eric Schmidt. I think he was at Google. He served on Apple's board, and then there was like a conflict. So I think ultimately left that board. But it happens all the time. You know, the board seats are like ministerial. There's not that they'll meet, you know, maybe 4 times a year, unless there's a special directors meeting. So she can sit on all these different boards and still be CEO of Audemars Piguet. That's her main job. So let's see what else. Vacheron was started by Puritans. Okay. That explains why they have the Maltese cross. Actually, no. Yeah, it's the Maltese cross. Everywhere, right? They're heavy branding with the cross. Yeah, Vacheron and Patek symbols are crosses. Okay, true. Yeah, the Patek cross. Tell me in the chat. is the VC, without Googling it, the Maltese cross, and then the Patek cross is another cross. So yeah, clearly they're, I guess Christian denominated brands, no question. So there you go. Wow, I'm caught up with the chat. Okay, that was good. Okay, so we covered AP. I don't know if anyone in the chat has anything else to say. Feel free to hop on. You're always welcome. Next topic. Oh, I jumped up to 19. I don't know if that's real. Next topic, at least I had, which I want to cover because that's what I said I would cover. Will the Supremes strike down the Swiss tariffs? I wrote U.S. tariffs, but everyone knows what I mean. So it appears in the next month or two, finally, the Supreme Court will step in, as they should, and as they should have maybe months ago, if not longer. When this first was announced, I guess it had to make its way up to the courts because you have to have the challenge, and then you have to, file a suit in federal court, and then have it go up the chain to the Court of Appeals, the Appellate Division, Court of Appeals. You have a decision in one of these circuits that says it's unconstitutional, right? And you may have other courts that uphold it as constitutional. So what do? The Supreme Court has to step in, and they took the case in a expedited fashion, which they should. It's pretty important, and they're going to hear it in 45 days, something like that. Why don't they hear it immediately? Who knows? GMT does he want the link? Or wants me to put down the link, he's right. I should. So basically, and this is not political, this is just facts, the Supreme Court will rule whether or not the president and the administration have the power and authority to impose these tariffs under one of the articles of the Constitution. And I understand that the argument against the tariffs is it has to be the emergency powers that are used to impose the tariffs, and there is no emergency happening. So I don't know. There's going to be a lot of nuance there. Maybe there's another part of the Constitution that they could justify the tariffs, but if not, they'll have to prove it was some sort of an emergency. I'm sure they will make arguments that this was urgent and there was no other way. And so the Supreme Court can uphold the tariffs, or they can not uphold the tariffs and strike down the law as unconstitutional and tell the president, Donald Trump, to get congressional approval. So then we'll see what impact that would have on Swiss watches. But I think right now we're in a holding pattern. So hopefully the Swiss will not do anything with respect to the tariffs right now, and they will wait for that decision. And hopefully that would be an expedited decision, but the Supreme Court also has to take time to hear the arguments, read the briefs, consider everything, and then make a decision. So I have no idea when that's going to happen, but hopefully it happens soon so people can know the rules of the road. And I'm sure some of you have seen that Donald Trump was in the Rolex box. I may have spoken about that a bit earlier. Watch diplomacy. And, Rolex doesn't speak for the Swiss government, but I'm sure he has influence and Rolex has influence. And I guess he's acting in the in Switzerland's best interest by jawboning Donald Trump about tariffs and possibly lowering tariffs, eliminating tariffs, exempting watches from tariffs. Not a bad move. Not a bad move. On the last stream, we talked about tariffs. I was basically telling the Swiss, because it was on their national holiday, to get to the table and start negotiating. Well, that didn't go so well. And I know they came to the United States and left empty-handed without a deal. And Trump basically said, thank you, but no thank you, 39%. So he is, for some reason, not happy with Switzerland. Not happy at all. Vimal. So I posted the link, GMT. Hop on. National security emergency has Section 232 investigation. So most of the products aren't covered yet. Okay. Well, I don't know exactly what that means. We will find out. We could all speculate. We could all put out our theories, make your arguments, but we're not the ones going before the Supremes. And so it's out of our hands at this point. I'm no expert. If SCOTUS upholds, do all the countries seriously negotiate after that? Yeah, I think they're negotiating now, and I think they'll negotiate later as well. I mean, what you have to remember is what a president does under power and authority and presidential powers, the next president can undo. So, we're going to have, that's, I don't know if the Supreme Court will look at that, but they might, because that's the reason you want to go through Congress, because you want things in law, because it's a lot harder to overturn a law, because then you need congressional support for that as well. The Republicans could not overturn Obamacare, and they tried unsuccessfully. And if some of you may know, John McCain, a Republican, was the deciding vote to uphold Obamacare. So you never know how these things are going to play out. And if anyone thinks they do, they're lying to you, because they don't. They just don't. If you have a Trump court, a Trump-stacked Supreme Court, these are supposedly strict constructionists. So they're not supposed to basically bend the Constitution to the whims of the president or anyone else. They're supposed to interpret it strictly. Strict constructionists, which would mean, and again, I haven't read the briefs, haven't dove into it, but if you need to have an emergency or emergency powers as narrowly defined, that's the way they're going to read it. So you never know. We shall see. Yeah, again, as Vimal said, if it's going to be uprooted in 3.5 years, you just don't know. And again, this isn't political, because the next president could be Republican, but he could run on a no tariff presidency, because Ronald Reagan was a free trader, and there's countless speeches that he made about that. So this is really party agnostic. There's a lot of Republicans right now, I think Rand Paul and others, and we're going way off topic now, who are against the tariffs, and they believe they're unconstitutional. So again, it's a power play between Congress and the president. Everyone wants more power. Everyone wants more power. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Trump's daughter will run for president in 2028 if she has any interest. I don't know. Or Don Jr. They have a family legacy. Remember, we had 2 Bush presidents, father and son. Not back to back, but we did. And we almost had Bill and Hillary. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. But she lost to Trump. Anyway. Tickle My Talk. Welcome, Tickle My Talk. Good to see you in the chat. Maybe we need Ari G, to speak to Trump. Well, Ali G, that's interesting. Ali G could be a combination of Ari G and the great Ali Reza. Now, that would be a combo. That's a combo meal deal. The two of them talking to Trump, I think they can get something done. All right, Watch Talk. I am going to now, let's share the screen on these beautiful new Royal Oaks. The Royal Oak. What a name, by the way. Not only an amazingly beautiful watch that saved Switzerland and Swiss watchmaking from the quartz crisis, but a great name when you think about it. I never thought about it until just now. Okay, here we go. You know, the Royal Oak. How can you can't get much better than that. Oak, solid. Royal, royalty. Brilliant. Okay. What am I looking at? I am looking at 3 new Royal Oaks. Actually, 2 Royal Oaks and a code 1159, all perpetual calendars. Wow. Okay. This is what we're talking about. All right. Finally, no more tariffs. Let's talk watches. Okay, so here's the first one. This looks like it is, oh, there you go. Now I lost it. What? The show is off the rails. Look what just happened. Can I get it back? What? Just, here we go. Thank God. All right. On the left, it looks like we're looking at a rose gold. That looks like a silverish dial or a opaline silver or silverish. We'll find out when I read the article. Quantième perpetuel. So perpetual calendar. If you guys look, the 7 and the 8 are next to each other on the date wheel, the date sub-register at the 1 o'clock, right? That's 7 and the 8, which when it came out, it pissed some people off. I know JJ was not happy. JJ was not happy. I don't care. I think it looks fine. And that means you don't have the 31 and the 1 next to each other. You have a nice clean 1 dot, a nice clean 3. Okay, let's go the other way. 30 dot for 31, and there's a 1. You see the way that goes? 1 dot, which would be 2, 3 dot, 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 dot. Then you go 7. Guess what? You see this here? No dot. 8. Okay, so it goes moving from here with a scrunched 31 and 1 to basically kind of a scrunched 7 and 8. Doesn't bother me at all. All of this works from the crown. So, hey, I don't have a perpetual calendar, but if I did, I know it would be a pain in the ass to set this thing. And I would probably screw it up and damage the watch. I'm just saying. I know there's pushers, but this, and it seems like you can maybe go back days and forward days, and it would be less error prone. But this is an absolute banger of a watch. There's no doubt about it. 38 millimeter, which I think is fine for a perpetual calendar, because my thing, just my own opinion, if I have a 41 millimeter watch, do I want it to be a perpetual calendar, or is that too big? Because I see perpetuals more in the dress vein. They have all those complications, incredible technology, dress piece. It doesn't speak to me as I need a big ass 41 millimeter. Look at my perpetual. I think it's more subdued. So I kind of like in 38. Now we go to the code. Okay. Now this is not the John Mayer code, the code that John Mayer was wearing, which had a stone dial, which I think is very interesting and a good direction for the code. Let's get rid of this radial pattern here, this circular pattern that gives me vertigo. It absolutely, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm the only one. I know people don't like the code. It's not a bad watch. Like the form factor of a code, lugs are strong. I like the lugs. It's round. I mean, how can you do round bad? It's just round. There's nothing to it. It's free. It's round. Then you got this inner, I guess you'd call this not the rehaut. The chapter ring, right? You got this chapter ring, 49, 50, 51. What the hell? I don't know what this is signifying here. I have no idea. This goes to 53. Oh, that's weekly, 52 weeks, and that would be week 53, something like that. I have no idea, but I think I might be right. So on a perpetual calendar, they have this ring on. I think on the non-perpetuals, like the plain three-handers, I think it's a 60-minute counter there on the chapter ring. I don't like the moon phase is nice. I think that moon looks really nice. I don't know about this. I mean, the color is interesting contrast with purple versus green or khaki. Good looking watch though. They could do a lot with this. I also think they can get rid of this, this chapter ring, if you will, in all of their models. Do something else, man. Mix it up. You don't need this. It's not terrible, but they have a nice piece of real estate and a round watch. It's a little bit thick, but that's kind of modern. It's got this, convex, concave glass. It's pretty cool. And it's got in-house Audemars Piguet movement. They can do something with this. They can do. It's been 8 years. I don't know why they'd ruin the perpetual calendar with this god-awful guilloche pattern, but they did. And this is gorgeous too. This ice blue. Absolute banger. And it's I'm assuming it's white gold. So let's read. I'm going to look at the chat, see what I missed. Let me catch up. All right, we got Jay Giddy. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Jay Giddy. Let's give him some love. Put him on the screen. Jay Giddy, thank you for your support. And like and subscribe. I'm doing a new thing with this channel. I used to say don't like and don't subscribe. But we've rebranded to like and subscribe. Let's see. Tickle My Talk. Again, anyone's happy to join the panel. The more the merrier, with certain caveats, certain exceptions. But so far, no one in the chat is accepted, meaning accepted. Tickle My Talk. Only one AD of AP left in Australia. Yeah, I mean, AP is going all boutique only, and some people are saying that could backfire in a tough environment because you don't have those AD relationships with your customers. Look, I skipped the whole thing anyway. I'm not going to be – I've been to AP. I've been offered offshores. I've been offered offshore divers, one after the other after the other. They're more than happy to sell you those. What else was I offered? A diver I was offered, a couple of offshores. I bought the yoke pre-owned. That's all you need. I don't need to play the game. I don't need a code. And I don't need, watches that I don't like. Let's see. Would you buy it if they offered it? The 38? I think I would. The perpetual calendar? I think I would. And I have larger wrists, but I think a 38 wears like a 40. And I think that's fine. I don't need a big 41 millimeter perpetual calendar that wears like a 43. I'm not diving in it. Why do I need that? My AP Royal Oak, the 15300, 39 millimeters. Wears like a 41. Looks great. I love it. And I'd have a hard time selling it unless I was to elevate, and maybe get a salmon dial, white gold salmon. What is it, 15202 or 16202? If they make that in salmon with the white gold, I could do that, or something else like if you go six figures, some banger of a watch, then maybe I'd get rid of my 15300. But I like having it. I'm looking at offshores too, to be honest. Anything's possible. I'm looking at Daytonas. I'm looking at everything. Let's see. Vermal, always on top of things. It's 110,000 for the steel, 150 for gold. Would you still buy it? Oof, now it's getting tough. It's getting very tough. Mm. No, I wouldn't. For 100,000, I would get or 120. I would get the classic. I think it's the 3960, but don't quote me, or 3940 Patek. Believe it or not, the 36 mil perpetual calendar, because that's more of a collectible kind of investment grade piece. These are beautiful. I just don't know if they'll hold up, and maybe they will. But I could also see you losing 30 grand. Um, and I hate to look at it like an investment, but I look at it as an asset, and that's just too much of a big depreciation hit for that watch. I don't like it. I don't love it that much. I can go more vintagey or neo vintagey and find something that I think is a bit safer. Because at the end of the day, I just don't like burning $30,000. I don't think anyone does. I don't like burning $5,000. That's just smart, in my opinion. So let me take a look. Do I have this? Or I do. Okay. The return of a downsized perpetual calendar. So this is Hodinkee, now in 38 mil, 9.4 millimeters thick. Joins the new 38 by 9.9 millimeter code. Okay, so I thought the code was thicker. So that's just a 0.5 millimeter difference between the new Royal Oak Perpetuals and the code, because the code's a pretty thick watch. I've had it on, but I had their chronograph on. Caliber 7138. Oh, it's actually the caliber 7136. The brand has ditched the weak indication on the Royal Oaks. Okay, right. The weak indication, which is the one I was pointing out earlier, that's on the code. It is unnecessary. Much more classically styled. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they had, right, the 52 or 53 week indicator around the top of the dial, right? Or in that chapter ring. I thought that was actually a cool little feature, but this is clean without it. Yeah, it's classically styled, reminiscent of the 90s and early 2000 Royal Oak Perpetuals. So, interesting. They got rid of that. They used to have the weekly. It had a pointer as well, right? If they had a weekly calendar, then they would have an extra hand pointing at that weekly calendar. So that made it more busy. This is cleaned up. Yeah, this is nice. This is super nice. You're gonna blame Ilya Resta for this too? Fire her on the spot. Came out with 38 millimeter Royal Oak perpetual calendars. Let's get rid of her. I mean, I hope she could come out with another line entirely. A beautiful dress watch. Let's see. The Royal Oaks are in stainless steel with a light blue Grand Tapisserie dial, or 18 karat rose gold with beige dial. Okay, so that's a beige dial. I'm a fan of beige dials. I said silver earlier. I should have read the article. Beige dial. That's like the OP beige, which is what the Rolex OP 41 in beige. That's my favorite, even over the pistachio. And I've registered for both, which means I'm getting neither. But 41 beige, I'm a fan of beige dials from the minute I saw the the begins with a B, not Bamford. What's that English brand? The UK brand with the Martin Baker. It's going to come to me. It will come to me. Bremont. That's correct. Bremont. So Bremont had a beige dial when I first went to Watch Time, and it was the Martin Baker beige dial, which I like. Anyway, this is interesting. Beige tapisserie. I wonder if they've ever done that before. I don't know, man. The steel is cool, but I want a precious metal, I think. Yeah, definitely. If I'm going perpetual calendar, I want precious metal. Full stop. Okay. In fact, if I spend that much money on a watch, I pretty much, for me, it's got to be precious metal. I know people would say, no, Patek steel, they go crazy for. Any Patek steel dress piece or like the 5212, they go gaga. It's like, I like it. I'd prefer it in gold. That's just me. Okay, weak indicator is out. Everything else is identical between the movements, it says. 55 power reserve, no one cares. All functions controlled by the crown. Very cool. That's a nice signature, too. I like the way they do that. Audemars Piguet in that nice script. Very elegant. Very elegant and very Holy Trinity-esque. It's very Holy Trinity-esque. The code is slimmed down. There you go. I thought so, because that seemed very slim. Still has the weak indicator, which I don't like. And I said that before. See that? I think they should have got rid of it. I don't know what they're doing. Let's see. Without the updated caliber. Okay. The case is 38 by 9.9, 100 meters water resistance, rose gold case and mid case, hollowed lugs, right? They got those hollowed lugs. Hour markers, 18 karat pink gold. Hands pink gold with lume. Snailed green inner bezel, right? So they call it the inner bezel. What I call the chapter ring, inner bezel, I think. Yes. Snailed green inner bezel. Yeah. Okay. Interesting choice of color there. I don't know. I think it's a miss once again. Close, but a miss. I think they got to go with stone dials. Mix it up with the code. Enough. Green Bay Packers color palette. Yeah, that sounds about right. Soft green. Well, green and rose gold. Now we're talking about like the olive day date, basically. And at the price, whatever the price, let's just see, 150 units each. That's why. 150th anniversary logo on the case back. Well, that's big. Because I think the 50th anniversary Royal Oaks are special, just because they're more limited. Okay, so this is in Swiss franc. The steel and the new code are 110,900. And the other one's 150. Okay, so you got. Okay, that's interesting. Right. So the code, which is in precious metal, is the same price as the steel Royal Oak 38. So that just tells you something right there. Royal Oak gets the premium. You can get this. Okay. Take a look at this. This code or the olive green, the olive dial day date for 50 something thousand as opposed to 110, which is half price. You got to go olive day date. And it's not even close. So sorry. That just put the nail in the coffin of that watch. Head of complications. I'm reading this article. She had taken on the role, right? There's a woman there. Shout out to Young Brando, because he great stream he had last night talking about the AP CEO situation and Rolex and CEO meeting with Donald Trump. Just a great show. I call him the maestro. He is one of, if not the most knowledgeable YouTubers in the watch space, period. Go check out his channel, Young Brando. He streams usually pretty late at night, and show him some love. He doesn't get enough viewers, in my opinion, that should be watching and learning. Anne Galley Quinet is the head of complications. She loves the mechanisms. She also wants to bring some feminine aesthetic. She's talking to R&D because women love watches too. Size. Later, she also added, it's like a double entendre here. Size is very important, of course. For example, size is important, by the way. For example, I'm wearing the 41 millimeter Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar, and I really love it. I do. I feel 41 is fine. It's not for her, but I would love to develop a complication that fits everyone, not only women, but also men. She wore a 39, and for me, 39 is perfect. That's right. 39 is perfect. Anyhow, so there you have it. There's more specs on these pieces. Once again, love the Royal Oaks. Don't love the code. All right, we're done with that. I'm closing that tab. Done. All right, let's see. AB says for 150K, no way. Would rather have day date, VC overseas, Pepsi, and a Calatrava. Yeah, that's quite a haul. You're absolutely right. That's kind of the way I play it. That's why I don't have. I mean, you could sell 4 or 5 watches and get $100,000 or $150,000 watch, or you can have a nice variety of pieces, Trinity pieces, or Rolex icons like a Pepsi, right? And you could look, get an EO vintage Pepsi. You're paying $12,000. Even a lot lower than a new Pepsi, the modern Pepsi. I have an anecdotal story, by the way, about a colleague of mine that went on one of those luxury cruises. Now seems like a good time to share it. So this guy was going on this luxury cruise. It's happening actually now. And the cruise ship was sailing out of Venice, of all places. So he had to fly to Venice first before boarding the ship. So he and I were talking. He's not a watch guy. He owns one watch. I think he owns an Aquaterra. Beautiful watch, by the way. Black dial. So he was asking my advice on, he said the ship had a Rolex boutique or Rolex AD. So it's not a boutique. It's like a Rolex AD on the ship. And it was supposed to be chock full of Rolexes. So he was picking my brain, asking me what Rolexes he should get, what he shouldn't get, what he should look at. And he kind of went down the rabbit hole a bit. And we settled on trying to get a steel GMT. And let's put aside the Pepsi. His top 2 choices were a Batman or a Batgirl or the GRNR, right? Or the GRNR, the black with the gray, right? So GRNR, so gray, NR for noir, gray and black, which I love on Jubilee. The Bruce Wayne. How can you not love Bruce Wayne? All right, so he had the game plan, and then as a subset, possibly the Submariner green. He liked the Starbucks, which I'm a fan of that watch too. So he goes on the ship. He goes, I'm going to text you when I'm on there, tell you what's happening. So day 1 or day 2, he shows me the sign. They said appointments only, make an appointment. I said, go for it, get an appointment. He makes the appointment, right? Then he texts me and he goes, they say they have a lot of inventory and you're limited to 3 pieces, but only one, what they said was only one like special piece or one, I forgot the exact words, but not limited, but you can only get one really nice piece or coveted piece, something like that. So I'm like, well, that's a good sign. Maybe they'll give you one. God forbid they had a Pepsi. I'd be happy for them and pissed at the same time. But it was a high-end cruise, so it had it was expensive and it had high rollers on there. So maybe they stocked it with some nice pieces. Who knows? But they did say they had a lot of inventory. He gets a text back, so he sets up the appointment. Bottom line, he goes in. He texts me again after the appointment. He said, no GMTs. Like, he's not getting a GMT allocation in steel. So no Bruce Wayne, no Pepsi, no Batman. And they said maybe, and I don't know when they would get back to him. They said maybe you'll get a Starbucks. Maybe. And so I was like, all right. Not shocking that they wouldn't have GMTs. I knew it was a pipe dream anyway, and unlikely, but you get a Starbucks, not bad. I think that's a win if you walk off that ship with the Starbucks. I like the watch. I think it's a good watch. He's not selling it, so he could even get something that's not crazy over retail. He can get something that goes for under retail, but he didn't want to spend a ton of money, and he wanted to get a piece he liked, and he liked the GMTs. Right? He didn't want to spend tons of money on gold. I said, don't buy an all gold piece. You're going to lose a lot of money, and I could source it for you elsewhere. So don't do that. So he texts me the next day, and he goes, you know what? I may not even go back. He's so disgusted with the process, and he shows me a picture of a Tag Aqua Racer in green. And he goes, you know what? I just might buy this because I like the way this looks. I said, you know what? I don't blame you for not going back. I really don't. And then I said, buy what you love. You're on vacation. If you want to buy a watch, buy a Tag. Look, is he going to lose money if he sold it? Yes, but he's not going to sell it. So I don't know what he ended up doing because that was the last I heard of him, and heard from him, and that was Sunday. So we'll see if he got the Tag. Maybe he got lucky and Rolex called him back before the ship landed in port. Chat seems pretty quiet right now. I don't know if I know there's not too many viewers right now, but it's kind of become very stagnant. So let's see. I did want to. I got a bunch of different. I got a lot of different content to pull up. I can go for a while with this. What am I wearing? I'm eating a tuna sandwich. AB, man, you're holding the fort. I'm hungry too, and I had something to eat, but it was not enough. So I envy you, but I don't eat tuna. I could eat sushi grade, but one of the few things that I don't eat is tuna. And I had an allergic reaction when I was a kid and never ate it again. I could eat most fish though, kind of more the white fish like salmon and things like that, cod. So I have no, allergies. I actually think I did have an allergic reaction to tuna. I think it might be in the can with the oil, or I just may not have liked it and made that up. So who knows? But I can eat sushi, obviously, sushi grade tuna, fatty tuna, whatever they call it. All right, where are we? What am I wearing? I'm wearing the Hermes HO8. Amazing watch. Gets a ton of wrist time. And honestly, it really, really does. I love it. I am very pleased with this purchase. Yeah, apple and everything. I love apple and salad. You ever have those, what are those salads that have the apple and like cranberries and walnuts? That's the Waldorf. Waldorf? I think it's a Waldorf salad. Those are great. Okay. Let me play. So I want to play a very short. Actually, this is a little longer than I thought. Little short video about the Hermes HO8, just to give you guys, I'm going to race through it. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do have it for you. So let's do this.
The Hermes HO8 is a watch worth looking at for a few reasons. There have been some excellent hands-on reviews, very good talking points surrounding its inspiration, where it stems from, and the Hermes brand in general. Where exactly do we see this watch? Where does it position itself? Does it compete with the likes of the Bulgari Octo Finissimo, for example? They all fill the same void of the high fashion watch, which is a new trend that we're seeing growing, especially amongst the manufacturers like Montblanc, like Piaget, and many others in this ballpark, where they predominantly focus on jewelry, they focus on luggage, luxury items, but not necessarily watches as their core product. Honestly, this was one watch that really piqued my interest during Watches and Wonders this year for a couple of reasons. The first thing that comes to mind after thinking about it for a bit longer is that this does speak to me as a watch that feels like industrial design in the purest sense, if you know what I mean. It feels like it has been manufactured, it has been considered in a few areas. What I like to do with examples like these is look into where exactly we could possibly find the inspirations, and the 1970s seems to ring true. Watch examples from that time. A brilliant email was linked to me thanks to a gentleman by the name of Neo. Makes a lot of sense. It's one of their key market review of this piece, and the one key area that truly fascinated me.
All right, I'm killing that. It's too long. I suggest you watch it on your own time. Yeah, AB. So, orange strap. That's a great point because somebody mentioned that to me that, hey, your watch doesn't have the orange strap. So I think I might, because I think it's very Hermes, right? And mine has a little pop of orange on the tip of the second hand and also on the hour markers under the Arabic numerals. It has the hour markers in orange. I'll go full screen. I'll do solo layout for you guys with my shitty camera. There we go. One day, guys, I'll upgrade. One day. And get my camera working again, my external Logitech or some other replacement. So there it is. I don't know if you can see the orange. Probably not, because it's shit. I like the blue. I really do. And I like the matte color of the blue on this one. I personally, obviously, since I bought it, think this is the way to go. But they have gray ones. They have graphene, titanium. This is titanium. Grade 5, too. I mean, they went all out. The winding mechanism is insane on this movement. It's so smooth. It's like butter, honestly. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better crown and a better feel when you're winding the watch. The tactile feel, it's just butter. That's the best way I could describe it. Go to Hermes if they have them. Check it out. Put it on the wrist. Play with it. I don't know. It's crazy. It kind of was an eye-opener there, but I'm not going to play that video. There's plenty of them out there. Maso does some videos too, so I can kill that tab. Let's see. This guy Vinny did Vinny. This guy talked about stockpiling at ADs. I don't know if I want to do that either. Okay, this one. Now I will play you the video that really put me over the top in buying my Sea Dweller, the 16600. I definitely want you guys, I think this is worth the watch. The way he goes into it makes a comparison between the Sea Dweller and the Submariner. He does get the reference wrong in terms of the initial Sea Dweller. But but I'm not going to kill him for that. All right. So I'll play that for you in a second. Does Nate's guy still have some? I don't know. I texted Nate's guy about the Norcane Wild one, and he got back to me. Unfortunately for him, and he does have one. But what I told him, I didn't tell him yet, but I will. I've kind of rethought that whole process, and it ties into the HO8. I've been now wearing this for activities. I haven't played tennis with it, but I'm wearing it to play pickleball. It still works. The movement is held up. And even though it's a different watch from the Norcane, obviously, I just don't think I'm spending, and the guy wanted $5,000 for the turquoise Norcane Wild One skeleton. And I don't love the turquoise. I'm kind of over the turquoise thing. So I wouldn't get that one anyway. But I just don't feel like paying $5,000 for another piece when I can use this. And, you know, I think it looks better than the Norcane. I like the Norcane, don't get me wrong. Maybe I would get it down the road, but for now, I have this one, so I'll wear this one. And it's light, checks all the boxes, and it really is a sporty watch. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And another thing that I'm doing is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to play. This is a little bit long, but I think it is worth it. Oh, it's 11 minutes. So maybe I'll comment as it's playing.
Sea Dweller is the sub you actually want. Deep down inside, you want this watch. You just don't know it yet. But by the end of this video, you will know it. Okay, the Rolex Sea Dweller. The first reference, the 1655, was introduced in 1967. And that first Sea Dweller that was released in 67 but only became commercially available in 1971 was the first dive watch with a helium escape valve. And as you would think, when we're talking about the history of watches, there are differences of opinion, because Doxa claims to have the first commercially available dive watch with a helium escape valve. But when you just look at the construction of a watch with a helium valve, the Rolex Sea Dweller, not this one, the very first reference, 1655, was
Okay, so the reference he got wrong. It's the 1665, and he says throughout this 1655, but as he says that Rolex was first with the helium escape valve for producing this watch for commercial purposes, not the Doxa. So let's listen in.
First. Rolex came up with the Sea Dweller with a helium escape valve to help saturation divers. They used submariners, but because of their type of diving, when surfacing, sometimes the helium that built up inside the watch made the crystal pop off. The helium escape valve prevents that. Enough about this technical thing nobody in the real world actually uses, but it does look cool on a dive.
Now, I just wanted to stop there because that's the helium escape valve. And it's for saturation diving. So when you're at those depths, you decompress by going, the divers would go into a dive bell. And that dive bell would be filled with helium. And so when that helium got into your watch, basically the crystal would, as he said, pop off. And so the helium escape valve allows the helium that's in the dive bell that you're the divers are in to decompress and come up from the depths that they're in, would come up and the helium would escape and no crystal would pop off. Now, he'll talk about this later, that there's no Cyclops on this watch because Rolex at the time did not figure out a way to make the crystal, the Cyclops, not pop off at those depths. So they were still working on that technology, which they fixed on or around 2017. Hey, Mr. GMT, you're an hour and a half late. Welcome aboard.
Oh, mate, you started on lunch, mate. I had a lunch rush. What did you want me to do? Lunch, mate. You're in the evenings. I'm at lunchtime. What do you want me to say?
Oh man, that's the excuse. Lunch.
It's the best I can come up with, anyway.
That's all right. I'm hungry. Look, AB is having a tuna sandwich right now. So you guys are both getting me very hungry because I had kind of a lightish dinner and decided, it's been quite a while since our last stream together.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I figured I'd fire one up, and if you were around,
I saw your missed call. I'm sorry about that.
Don't worry. Nah, it was last minute.
I've got the last. It's the last weekend for us. Now it's Thursday today for us. It's our last weekend for the speedway. You know, the speedway that I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a back-to-back of 3 days. So a 3-day event. So I'm doing that start as of today. So I was there prepping that and getting all that ready. And then I went back to the shop and I missed your call. I'm sorry about that.
No. These are busy days. I know when you're at the speedway, you're doing like double. It's like working 2 jobs basically back to back.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Because you run Tip Top, and you also have the speedway on the going at the same time.
And I got the markets as well.
Oh God.
So
the markets are different.
That's a
speedway.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Holy shit.
But I'm missing out on the markets tonight because I'm doing speedway.
Yeah.
Which the markets has died off now because it's a tourist market. So all the tourists have left Darwin, most of them. So it's pretty quiet at the markets anyway. So it doesn't really bother me that much. But it's much better for me to be at the speedway because now everyone's flown up from pretty much all around the world to be for this event. So it's a bigger event. So it's much better for me to be there.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I heard you popped on Archie's show. I saw that.
When was that?
I don't know. It was like last week or.
It would have been about 3 days ago. 3 days ago.
Yeah, something like that. And it's funny because I'm not a regular watcher, but like when I happened to be.
That was your morning. In your morning, are you talking about the morning stream?
It was it was the morning. I was waking up and ready for work and having my latte and looking for content. And I think it was Lux, Archie, and you. Talking about what were you talking about? I think he was.
I kind of remember.
I forget too. I think he was selling some pieces or talking about downsizing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you said you were busy. I know that it was a busy, but then you said you're going to have free time. So you were saying.
I am, yeah. I'm starting to, as of this week, this will be my last really, really busy week. And then after that, I'll still be busy, but not as busy. It'll be pretty just cruisy, just a straightforward cruisy weekend. Still working, but not crazy.
Yeah.
Not crazy.
So well,
it'll be nice.
I had the same thing basically throughout the summer on a major project that took 6 months and finished up right before Labor Day weekend, which was nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was really nice. But I wasn't sure when it was going to actually finish, and we got it done, thankfully, before that weekend. So I was kind of decompressing that weekend, and then, kind of last week just taking it somewhat easy a little bit. And recovering, because it's not as easy as it used to be to recover. And now we go.
Sure. As we get older, right?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Geneva Watch Days I thought about possibly that would have been a cool event to go to. That happened to be September like 4th or 5th through the 8th,
Okay.
or the 9th, and I didn't really hear much talk about it. So you know, I didn't go. Obviously, I don't know if there was any groups going, but that would be a cool event. You know, not.
I think that would be very cool. That would be an awesome event.
Yeah, because it's not like the new novelties, you know, like Watches and Wonders. It's
Well,
more of like the niche
I
stuff.
look forward, say, when you boys go to things like that, because I can't go and I live through your eyes, your you know, what you experience, and I really enjoy it.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Well, actually, for you, Switzerland would not be as far as coming to the United States.
Oh, it's pretty close.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be far
Yes.
off. Yeah,
it's far. Yeah,
it's pretty far. It's pretty
not around
far.
it's not around the corner either.
No, it's pretty fast.
Not around the corner.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
know,
got
but
you.
it's all right. It's
Oh,
good.
you were talking
Doesn't
about
matter, man.
another Darwin event, like if Mobster. No, was it Mobster? No, it was
No, it was
who are those two guys?
Madman and
Madmen.
The Undertaker.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
T Dubs wants to come this time as well. He saw how much fun we had, and they look. If it ever happens, it happens again. I'm not forcing it. I'll just take it as it comes. You know?
Yeah. T Dubs was,
it would be
in the
nice.
chat. T Dubs was in the chat saying hello earlier. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
I probably bored him with AP CEO and tariff talk.
That's all right. If it's not up his, up his alley, it tunes out and then tunes back in. That's what I used to do. If I'm not into something that the conversations doesn't carry what I like, I'll just tune out and then tune back in later on.
Yeah, absolutely. So where are you driving to now?
I'm going to the bank to get some change for the Speedway. So yeah, get some notes, get some coins.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
So then you go do that. Yeah. Then I'm not going to play this video because we're going to lose you. You know,
Well, I'll be jumping off in about 3 minutes or so.
Okay.
So you can play it then if you want.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait until you have to jump off, and then I'll play it.
Yeah.
McLovin, what's up, Cap? What's up, McLovin? Better late than never, man. You're here. That's all that counts. McLovin, if GMT feels that way, then Cap should go to a gentleman's club.
Sorry about feels what way? What?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's something we said earlier.
I've got no idea.
I don't either. I think it's some. I could guess what he's talking about, but I don't know. Wristwatch Holic. Hi, Captain. Now, Wristwatch Holic is he in? Where is he? Is he in Korea? He's definitely overseas. Oh, to live vicariously, Cap. Yeah.
Hang on. Wristwatch Holic, isn't he in the States? Isn't he in the States? Or?
He is, but right now he's on holiday. He's on vacation.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. Well, I hope you're having a good time, my friend.
I think he was going to hit some of the boutiques or ADs wherever he was overseas in Asia and report back to us to see if he spruiked any, any pieces. Yeah, I get you, McLovin. Yep, that's right. That's right. But we wouldn't live stream that anyway.
Well, hang on. Are you going to fill me in what you're talking about? I can't see it.
No, back to McLovin. He mentioned me going to a gentleman's club because you could live vicariously through me, right? So you're not going to go to Switzerland or any other places, maybe. So we could bring the party to you. Now he's too busy for that. AB said his Batgirl is in Japan or Korea. His Batgirl is in Japan or Korea. Okay. Well, he's in one or the other. If he wants to let us know where he is, he can. If not, no problem. I was just looking at the Louis box too. Shout out to Alex.
You're loving it, eh? You're loving the Louis box, huh? So happy for you, brother. So good that you got it.
Yeah, I'm happy. I do want to clean it though, because there's some smudge on is that brass? Do you happen to know what that's made out of?
That's
So-
brass. That's brass. That's brass.
All right.
Brass.
Oh, looks like it's got some
You can brass it up
Look.
once you polish it up. It'll come out like it's gold again, like beautiful.
You know, I want to leave the patina, but something about it looks almost like I'm not sure if it looks like. Did
You
yours
know,
even look
once you do it, it'll patina again. You know that, right?
Yeah. But it kind of patinas. I don't know if yours was the same way, not evenly. So
Mine wasn't brass. Mine wasn't brass.
yours wasn't brass. Oh, because you had the steel. Was that steel?
Yeah. Still, yeah.
I got you. Okay. So wait, hey, what do you want to talk about while we have you?
Oh no, well, I'm just about to jump off, so I'll jump on again once I head back to the shop. So I'll just jump on for about 10 minutes, and then I'll jump back on again.
All right. So what I'll do is
banking.
I'll put back this video. We'll get through this Sea Dweller video, and we'll see you on the other side.
No worries, my friend. We'll still talk then. Take care.
All
Stay
right.
sexy. Bye-bye.
Stay sexy. That's his catchphrase, man. On cue. There he is, man. The owner, the legend, the sponsor and owner of the channel, Mr. GMT. All right, let's play this.
Watch. It gives you that instrumental tool watch look. But first, let's have a quick overview of Sea Dweller's through the ages. Everything starts with the 1655 double red, a 40 millimeter steel dive watch. Double red because of a double line of red letters. Collectors go crazy over it. As I said before, I mentioned the Submariner. The sub at that time could dive to 200 meters. The new Sea Dweller, however, managed to go down to 610 meters. So it is actually a sub plus.
All right, so I want to pause this for fair use purposes and to also comment and add some color to this. So this is, I think this guy's name is Lex, this guy is Lex from Fratello, and he's on the panel sometimes with Nacho, who I guess is the host on the Fratello YouTube podcast. And so again, 1665, which was on the screen, that's the first reference. And the double red is something that I am searching. I'm on the hunt for double red. And my understanding is there's 4 gens, 4 different versions of the double red. And the first one, actually, I think, when it was in the prototype stage, was called a Submariner before it changed over to the name Sea Dweller. So it actually was initially a Submariner, and then it became the Sea Dweller. So clearly they're cousins, but the Sea Dweller was born from the sub for this particular purpose. And let's continue.
Later versions of the 1655 include the Great White, where the red is replaced by white. The name says it all. And there's also a early version, I think it's the first generation of Great Whites, that had special dials made by Stan's Frère, where the 2 C's in the chronometer certified lines are perfectly aligned, and that gave that watch the nickname Railway. A major step in the evolution of the Sea Dweller is the 666, the 166660, that managed to continue to work to a depth of 4,000 meters. That's over a kilometer deep. And that depth could be reached because the original plexi was changed for way more sturdy sapphire glass.
So this iteration is like mine, 4,000 feet, 1,220 meters. I think it's very similar to the one I have, the 666 16660. I thought about getting a 666. The bracelet seems to be somewhat similar. They enhanced it in the later model that I have. But that was also on the list for me until I ultimately pulled out the 16600. Let's listen to Lex.
After the 666 came this watch, actually, the 16600, that was made from 1989 until 2009. And this is a 1996 model, meaning it still has tritium markers and tritium on the hands. The ones after 2000 have a modern non-radioactive luminous material, and it also says Swiss made on the dial. What is really nice about this particular watch is that you can actually see that especially the lume pit has this nice and creamy color, and also the hands and the indexes just start to be a little bit more off-white instead of hard-white. It really gives this watch a lot of charm. Strangely enough, after this watch was discontinued in 2009, it took until 2014 for Rolex to introduce a new Sea Dweller. And it still had a 40 millimeter case, just like this. It had just a new movement, and more importantly, it was the introduction of the ceramic bezel for the Sea Dweller.
So this is where they go ceramic, like they did with the Submariner, and you get that less neo-vintagey feel to it and less toolish feel to it than you do with the prior iterations. He mentioned the patina. Mine, kind of has a little bit of the creamy white, but it's not patinaed, so it's not custard, or it's not cream colored, but they get like that over time. And mine is the tritium piece. Mine is tritium, and before they went, they stopped using tritium, and they went, as he said, with the Swiss made on the dial, and they went to Super Luminova. Let's listen to the rest of it.
A black ceramic bezel on a Sea Dweller. Like it or don't like it, it is logical Rolex evolution. They think that a ceramic bezel is better than an aluminum one, and so they produce it in ceramic. What do I prefer? This one, but Rolex doesn't care about my opinion. What is interesting, though, is that the particular first Dweller with the ceramic bezel was only in production for 3 years. So it is kind of an oddball. 2017 was a big year for the Sea Dweller.
And that's actually what makes it collectible, because it had a short 3-year production run. And I think that watch is really cool too. It was also 40 millimeters.
For different kinds of reasons. Well, first of all, it was the 50th anniversary of the model, and Rolex celebrated it with a new model. And it was also big because the Sea Dweller went from 40 to 43 millimeters. There are some strange things on that watch, the new one, the current one, and some logical ones. The red letters, for instance, are a sort of retro touch you would expect from Tudor and not from Rolex. They clearly are inspired by the very first 1655, although this one has a single red line and not a double red. And the other one is, of course, the introduction of the Cyclops on top of the crystal of the Sea Dweller.
Okay, so 2 things there. That's why I want the double red. of the 1665. And that would be the first gen double red before they went with the great white and changed it to white with the lettering on the dial. And now he's going to talk about the Cyclops.
And I don't think it's the change in size, it's the introduction of the Cyclops that had most people wondering and debating the watch. Does it fit the Dweller? Well, the thing is, it never had a Cyclops. So we were very used to having this watch that more or less looked like a sub, but had this one thing missing that actually made it more special: a date without a Cyclops. The reason for the absence of a Cyclops on a Sea Dweller was technical, was always technical. Rolex just didn't have the means and methods to glue a Cyclops on a watch that was meant to go down 4,000 feet. But they solved that problem. And in logical Rolex evolution, if you can make something better, you do it. If you have a normal hairspring and a silicon one is better, you make it in silicon. If you can finally put a Cyclops, which is a better way of reading the date on a watch, you add that Cyclops. And so the ceramic bezel and the Cyclops are logical forces of nature, I would say, that you can be against or you can applaud it, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's Rolex evolution.
Well, yeah, there is something you can do about it, and that's to buy the older iteration without the Cyclops. So no one's obviously reading the time at 4,000 feet or 1,220 meters. But we wear these watches as desk divers primarily, and people like having the date. I happen to think it looks super clean without the Cyclops, and I own 4 Cyclops watches. Is that GMT? I'm hearing noise.
It sure is. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. All right, we'll keep Lex on pause over here while we have you back.
So going back to this thing, this is very interesting, actually. Now that you've got one, and you've got the aluminum, that's how you say it, right?
Yes.
You got the pre-ceramic. Yeah, you got the pre-ceramic.
Yep.
In saying that, do you ever think you'll get a ceramic version?
A ceramic Sea Dweller?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No, definitely not.
And the reasoning? What's the reasoning?
Well, a couple of reasons. Well, one, I have 3 ceramic bezel Rolex, right? The 2 GMTs are ceramic and my Hulk is ceramic. So that kind of scratches the ceramic modern itch. And I have 2 aluminum, my original 16 610, and the Sea Dweller, the 16.
So now you got 2.
Oh, I have 2, and if I go, ultimately my goal is to get a double red Sea Dweller, and that's aluminum.
Fair enough.
You know? So I think when I got mine, GMT, the real question was, do I go tritium, which I ended up getting because mine's a 98, or as he said, after 2000, from 2000, I think to 2008 or 2010, they started making them with, I think it's Super Luminova. So my watch doesn't loom
At all.
No, but I like the cool. I like not where it doesn't say Swiss made on the dial. I like that tritium where it says, Swiss plus minus, or, less than 25, T minus, less than 25, however they say it on the bottom. Like Swiss T minus. I wish I had.
I know what you mean.
Indicating tritium. So
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like that aesthetic of the piece, and it just feels great, man.
So
I just like
the
it.
difference between, all right, so the difference in thickness between a new ceramic version and yours, what's the difference in thickness? Because I don't know, honestly. 'Cause I
Oh,
don't have any
with the
thickness.
ceramic,
Yeah.
you know, that's interesting because I think when they made the 43 millimeters, they I think it became thicker,
I think
but
so too. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's thicker.
I'm not sure
So
it's
I'm
too much.
thinking yours is a 40, yeah?
Mine's a 40, but then they came out. The first one that they had with the ceramic was a 40, and I'm not sure the thickness changed that much between the one I had and then when they went ceramic. Um, they also have a new movement in there, but I don't know if it got much thicker because they didn't change the depth rating on it. So
Okay.
I don't think they had to go much thicker to improve, to improve the depth rating on it. For some reason, I think the 43 mil.
It's got the helium valve, doesn't it?
Yeah, they all do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they all do. They haven't changed that. I don't know. A lot of people complain about the 43. It's just a bigger watch. It's going to be heavier.
Yeah, it's more heft.
Cyclops.
There's more heft to it.
It's more heft to it. It's got the Cyclops on there. It's
I did tell you, right?
It's an homage. Yeah, go ahead.
That Beckham, used to. I'm not sure if he still has one, but he used to have one for sure. He used to wear it all the time. The one that you've got.
Yeah, the one that I have, and they made them for like 20 years. There's no shortage. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
They made a lot of them, and what I like the most.
How do you find the difference? Okay, sorry, what do you like the most? You said, what do you like the most? What is it?
I was going to say when they start patinaing. So when the albums start patinaing and the hands start getting patina, I think they look really nice when they get that cream color. Like they start looking more creamy. I don't like them when they go to pumpkin.
Is there much more heft between the ceramic Submariner, for example, and this watch that you have there? Is there much difference in heft between the two?
The bracelet's heavier because my bracelet has it's not made.
It's hollow.
The clasp is hollow. Some of the links are hollow, but the clasp is stamped, so it's not. What do they call it?
So do you reckon that we're very similar, like as in the weight ratio?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I mean, I have both of them, but to me, the newer sub might feel a little bit heavier, but yeah, they're both nice. Yeah. They're both nice. I just think the 43 is too big.
So you got your Hulk, which is the new one. You don't have a 41, do you?
No. I had a 41 sub no date, and as JJ said, the clasp just felt too big. It was the bulky, big clasp on that wrist, on that watch.
I don't understand why they made it so big. I don't get that.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's really, I don't know, it could really strangle your wrist, man. I found that it's just bulky on the bottom of your wrist, sticking out. I tend to like lighter watches in general, so maybe that's why I like the neo vintage stuff. I don't know. They're all nice. I mean, the other thing is they're not going to, like, ceramic is never going to age, whereas an aluminum bezel, could become lighter over time. Mine hasn't. Mine's still black, but it could fade. It could fade a little bit, and
it depends in the conditions you put it through too. If you're all constantly in the sun all the time, that's when you notice the difference in the bezel.
Yeah,
changing. Like I wear my golden eyes Seamaster, right? That's aluminum, and it's started to fade, but I like that. I like that it started to fade. It gives it character.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Speedmasters. Now, I couldn't tell you. I think mine has an aluminum tachometer scale on it. I think the bezel on that's aluminum. Do you know what yours is? Your Speedy? Is that aluminum?
It's aluminum. It's aluminum.
Right. Yeah, so they haven't changed it. So they have that aesthetic. They didn't go. Some of them I know. I think on the 321 and maybe the Snoopy. I'm not even sure. They went ceramic on the bezel.
Okay, didn't know that.
I think
thought
on the 321 maybe because it's these special limited editions. They may have gone ceramic on that one.
Okay.
But
Fair enough.
yeah, I mean
I'm surprised,
anything else outside of Sea Dweller or Submariner talk going on?
Me asking me the question?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue. I've been too busy working, Cap. I would not have a clue. Nothing.
Nothing.
Not in my near future or what I've seen. I haven't been really watching much. I've just been busy working.
Yeah, you
I
got
just got the notification. I got the notification that you're on, so I tried my best to get on as soon as I could.
Yeah, you got the the day-date diamond bezel, right?
Yeah, that's right. I've been loving that, by the way.
Not
Cap.
the
It's so
bezel,
much
the diamond dial,
No,
right?
dial.
And you kept the original one.
Yeah, of course. I also got a new Panerai, and I got the speeding, the white dial speeding.
Right.
So yeah, I'm happy. I'm content. I'm really content at the moment. I'm just loving the watches. I just got to get time to wear them instead of working so much.
Yeah. Which one do you wear the most? Like, what are you wearing today?
I went in the golden one, the Seamaster.
Okay.
That's my workhorse. That's the watch I wear every day when I'm working.
And you got that like a year ago or less.
Nah, I've had it for at least maybe 2 years, maybe a bit longer. Yeah, so I've had it for a while now.
Wow, it's been 2 years when you got both. I know you got two watches though, back to back.
I don't know.
Didn't you get two 007s? You got no time. Wait, no, you got.
So you're talking about Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Quantum of Solace. So, well, anyway, I just realized that I've gone 2 hours and it's 12 o'clock midnight.
What the fuck? You're nuts.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I want to finish playing this GMT and then I'm going to bounce.
Well, I'm going to bounce right now. So enjoy the rest of your show. Thank you for doing the show. I have been enjoying listening to it. So I thank you a lot for doing that. Gave me something to listen to. Really do appreciate your time and your efforts, Cap.
You're welcome. Thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it. No one, I guess no one had noticed, but maybe they'll watch the replay and get some value.
You get people watching it. It'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be good. All right, my man. Take care. Stay sexy and we'll talk soon. Yeah.
All right, man. Be good. Talk to you soon.
Ciao, bro. Bye.
All right. That was GMT. So let's take it. Let's have Lex take us home. I want to finish this out.
Also have to point out this one modern Sea Dweller that is in the current collection, and that is the steel and gold version. Just have a look at it. And that is maybe one of the most puzzling watches, that and the Explorer 1 in steel and gold. I mean, you have this historic tool watch that was used and made for saturation divers, and then you produce it in steel and gold. It's just really weird, but this is a sidestep. Do I have a favorite Sea Dweller? Well, yes, I do. I have two, actually. The first is, of course, the very first, the original reference 1655 double red, because that is just a stunning watch. The second one is the 16600. And then the one, of course, before 2000 with the tritium, because it feels like a modern watch, but has this slight retro vintage appearance that is just to die for. Are you still thinking about the sub? Getting a Submariner instead of a Sea Dweller? I don't think so. But if you do, I can also give you a more practical reason why you should get a Dweller instead of a Submariner. Let's talk money for a bit. Not only is the Sea Dweller the sports watch for connoisseurs, for people who really know their watches, it is also the watch for bargain hunters. Let me use the modern sub as a reference. You can't get a modern sub at the Rolex dealer. You can't get a modern Dweller at the Rolex dealer either. So you go to the parallel market. And then what do you see? You see that the current sub goes for 15,000 euros. For that same money, you can get a better watch. It's also a bigger watch because it's a 43, of course, but it's also a better watch because it will dive deeper. It has better specs. It is heavier. Interestingly, the list price of the current Submariner date is 10,250 euros. If you want to pay 3,000 euros more, you get the Dweller. There is absolutely no reason to get a sub if you want to spend, if you're willing to spend 15,000 euros on a watch. Let me put it this way. Why would you drive a 6-cylinder Ferrari when you can drive a 12-cylinder Ferrari for the same money? You tell me. I gave you all the reasons there are to like the Dweller better than the sub. But anyway, this is one of my favorite Sea Dwellers. Now, let me know what your favorite Dweller is in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and come back here real soon for some more, I would say, unfiltered comments, opinions, and watch talk.
Okay, that was Fratello. Excellent job. And let's go back to the studio. The numbers are dwindling and it's getting late. I was going to show you a Debitoon video, but I'm not going to do that. They came out with some kind of blue at Geneva Watch Days. So that was Revolution Watch. Waco had a sit down with Debitoon, one of the reps at Debitoon. I don't know if it was the CEO. And then there was something about ADs having stockpiles of Rolex, and now is a good time to get them at your AD. I don't know how true that is. I'm still waiting for the call, and I will let you know if it comes. So I am about to wrap this show up. I'm going to play the outro. Feel free to like and subscribe. We will do this show again when the mood strikes me, and I'll have some good content and some updates for you, and looking forward to that. Anyway, enjoy the outro music. Once again, the late, great Chris Cornell will take us home.
In my eyes, indisposed, in disguise as no one knows. At the face lies the snake, in the sun in my disgrace. Boiling heat, some might stench, neath the black the sky looks dim. Call my name through the cream, and you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away your red. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? won't you come? Stuttering, cold and damp, still the warm wind, tired friend. Times are gone for understand, sometimes for too long for slaves. In my shoes, walking sleep. In my youth I prayed to keep heaven sounded away. No one sings like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, 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 hang my head, drown my fear, tell you I'll just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come?